Yeah. So today's session we are going to discuss like auto scaling. So what is the concept of auto scaling in the Azure level is in the virtualization auto scaling is little challenge, but one of the like a good feature from the cloud we are getting is auto scaling kind of capabilities, and we have two types of auto scaling: vertical scaling, and the second one is horizontal scaling. Okay, so we have two types of auto scaling is supported. One is the vertical scaling, second one is the horizontal scaling. So what is the concept of vertical scaling is we have a Azure VM. That Azure VM we have allocated the resources like maybe one CPU, one virtual CPU, 1 GB RAM. Okay, so then I'm going to increase those resources. I'm going to increase those resources. Then, like, I'm not increasing the VM count. I'm not increasing the VM count to the to the same VM. I'm going to allocate more CPU, more RAM, more storage kind of options. Then that is called as vertical scaling or horizontal scaling. So I'm not increasing more number of instances. I'm not increasing. Okay. So then I'm
Vertical.
increasing. Yeah, it's a vertical kind of scaling. So normally in the physical how we can do the vertical scaling. So you may need to go to any hardware shop and need to enhance your RAM or enhance your CPU. So then that is called as vertical scaling. So in which scenario you'll go for upgrading your laptop or upgrading your servers?
It is vertical only, right?
Yeah. So when what may be the use case?
So the performance going to increase.
Yeah. Say suppose the current applications are not able to run, or we are getting lot of memory kind of constraints or out of memory constraints. Like in the previous session for IAS we got that issue, right? Because that
Yes.
RAM is not then we are going to scale up our resources. Okay, so that's we are going to we are going to set up those. Okay, so then uh, what is the advantage of vertical scaling is on the fly we can scale up those resources. Then we can get more CPU and more
Memory.
memory. Say in the scenarios our application is not matching, sir, our VM is not matching what are the hardware specifications specified by the product, or our application is keep on hanging, crashing, out of memory exceptions we are getting. Okay, so then we are better to use, so better to use the
Vertical scaling.
vertical scaling. Okay, so now here even we have one more feature is there. So we are increasing the size of the VM is one method. If I increase the size of the VM, whether I use it or I didn't use it, I need to pay for the new size itself. Okay, but there is one more we can use. There are some VM sizes are available. Maybe those are called as burstable. What is the meaning of burstable is I'm using still one CPU and 1 GB RAM itself. But if I use the burstable kind of thing, what is going to happen is if I have a peak load I got for my web server all of sudden, but I can temporarily I can increase more credits kind of thing. Okay, so that means here it provides the credit from the hypervisor. Who is going to provide? Azure is going to provide. I used more than one virtual CPU, 1 GB RAM for more than 1 hour. Okay, so then for that, say I use for assume 2 hours. Okay, remaining 22 hours I use normal load itself. But I got a all of sudden I got a peak load. For 2 hours I exceeded that one CPU and 1 GB RAM. Then if I have a burstable VM, what is going to happen is like Azure is going to provide more CPUs for the 2 hours, but they're going to charge that money. Okay, for 24 hours they're going to charge, or Uh, for only 2 hours, they are going to charge.
Only 2 hours.
2 hours. That's the credits we are going to take. But all instance sizes are VM sizes are not supported for this. Okay, all are not supported. We need to select the some of the type of sizes we have. Okay, that like B series. So while creating that, we have the B series. Okay, in the B series, like if I choose what is that meaning of B series is, those all the bustable kind of things. Okay, and we are getting the CPU credits, and whenever we are using more, automatically here we are going to get more. But this kind of bustable also comes under vertical scaling or horizontal scaling. Those will comes under
Horizontal.
vertical scaling or horizontal scaling.
Horizontal.
Yeah, it's going to be horizontal scaling itself. One is permanently you can change the size of the VM is one method, or whenever we have only for 1 2 hours itself we have a spike for your web servers for the startup kind of applications. Then you'll choose the low end kind of burstable size itself. But if you choose the burstable kind of size, it's going to be scale up for us. Okay, that's also comes under vertical scaling. Then here we have horizontal scaling. In the horizontal scaling, we are going to increase the size of the VM or number of VMs, which is correct in the horizontal scaling. In the horizontal scaling, are we going to increase resource size or number of VMs?
Number of VMs.
Number of VMs. In order to bear more load, more scalability for our application, we are going to use horizontal scaling. Say for in order to perform the horizontal scaling in Azure, we have one service. That service is called as Azure VM Scale Set. Azure Virtual Mission Scale Set. So what is the concept of the Azure Virtual Mission Scale Set is we can automatically scale up our virtual missions, and those mostly the identical kind of virtual missions. Okay, so then we can scale up depends upon the conditions we have specified. So assume I have four VMs I have, then I want to scale up to maybe around 400 VMs if my load comes. So these all we can set up. Okay, so what is the advantage of VM scale sets is automatically adjust the number of VMs, and almost it will maintain the right number of VMs, then the cost also can be reduced. So based on the demand, like maybe CPU wise or user wise or memory wise, we can configure our own metrics also. Based on those, VM scale set is going to perform auto scaling. Okay, so then here we can choose either the manual scaling or automatic scaling we can choose. And in the orchestration, uniform or flexible kind of modes we have, we'll discuss. But what is the business use cases? We have the servers. All of a sudden I got a spike. I want to have more number of servers. But if I maintain complete 1 year that number of servers, my profit is going to be very less because I need to pay huge money for that Azure itself. But I have only say suppose I have some seasons where I have more business. At that moment, I will maintain more servers. Or all of a sudden, I got a spike. Only for 1 hour, I have that spike. At that moment, I'm going to maintain more number of servers. Or I'm going to conduct maybe say suppose e-commerce portals may conduct freedom sales, or maybe like 1 week they may have the sales kind of thing or festival sales. At that moment also they will have more load. So it depends upon the conditions. We can scale up or scale down our resources, and we are increasing more number of VMs, and most of them either uniform or we have the flexibility to choose. These all the options we can use using the VM scale set. So now Today we are going to create the VM scale set. So vertical scaling is very simple to perform because we just need to shut down your VM and increase the need to increase the
Resources.
size of the VM we need to increase. And when we are doing the auto scaling or VM scale sets, definitely we need to have the networking wise. Say suppose I want to scale up to 200 or 300, then definitely we need to make sure whether those VNet has been configured according to that. And all these and finally what we are going to happen is when we want to deploy high scalable application, what we need to configure is we need to have a load balancing plus auto scaling. If I give these two features, what is going to happen to my application is I'm going to deliver highly scalable application I can deploy. So if I have it, yesterday we created one only VM. That single VM is not able to bear that. So single VM is not able to bear that. Okay, single VM we can't uh, with a single VM we can't give the high availability, load balancing, auto scaling is not possible, and some millions of people also can't access that server will crash or hang. So if we want a high scalable applications for our company, then definitely we need to give the solutions from the load balancing and the auto scaling wise. Okay, so from the Azure wise, what is the auto scaling solution is VM scale sets. VM scale sets. And we are going to use VNet disk monitor. All these we are going to use. Okay, so now, so here we have two two options are available. So one is scale out, scale in. What is the concept of the scale out is we need to specify the conditions, and if I specify that conditions, I'm going to increase the more number of VMs. Say suppose Azure has specified minimum 4 VMs first time running. That 4 VMs, if my CPU reaches more than 50%, I want to scale up to maybe 5 VMs. That is called as a scale out, and I can specify scaling kind of conditions. In the scaling, what I'm doing is if my CPU again in all the servers reaches 30%, then I want to scale down also. So these kind of conditions we need to specify in the auto scaling kind of thing. Okay, so that scale out or scale in kind of conditions we can specify by using the scale out and scale in conditions. And what are the metrics we have? That means based on what factors we are going to scale out or scale in. Okay, the first one is CPU utilization. That means I have created 10 VMs, and in all the 10 VMs I reached already CPU is 60%. Then I want to scale up more VMs. So that means one of the common metric we are going to use is CPU utilization. The second metric we are going to use is memory utilization. So based on the memory utilization, we are going to scale up more number of VMs we are going to scale up. Then the third one is network. What is the traffic is coming? Say suppose I'm getting 100 Mbps or maybe 500 Mbps. Then if I got these, I want to because my current servers not handle that network input and output. Then I want to increase. That means either network input is one metric or output. What is the the data transfer is happening, that throughput is also is one of the metric we have. So that means we are going to monitor the incoming and the outgoing kind of network, and based on that network also, as of now that existing VMs not able to bear more than that IO. According to that, like maybe network input and output. Or another method is IO operations also. That means how many read and write operations are happening on my disk. So those kind of disk operations also we are going to perform. So that read and write operations also we are going to perform. Then even we can use from the Azure monitor or from the application insights also, like my request count. That means on my web server, more requests are coming. Then I want to increase more number of like VMs or like based on the HTTP response time. If this response time is there, that means application is giving this response time to the users. I want to increase more response time. Then backend infrastructure I want to increase. So that's kind of metrics also we can use. So based on these, we are going to scale out or scale in our VMs. So in the scaling section, we can choose either the manual scaling or automatic scaling, and we are going to specify the scaling rule and based on the metric and what is the threshold value and what action need to be performed and like a cooling period. Normally cool down period we are going to keep 5 minutes kind of thing. So according to this, we are going to create the scale sets. Okay, after creating the scale sets also, what solution we need to add for the high availability is, so after auto scaling also what we need to do is, we need to attach to load balancer. Then what load balance is doing and what is auto scaling is doing, what load balancing is doing, what's auto scaling is doing.
Just redirect to the available resources
Yeah, always like a load balancer will redirect the user traffic to.
to available resources or to healthy VMs.
Yeah, to the healthy VMs or running VMs, it's automatically it's redirect. That means load balancer always checking that health monitoring of the VMs and according to that. But right number of VMs is maintained by auto scaling. So by including these two solutions, we are giving high scalable, highly available applications to our clients. Okay, so that's the reason. Like we need to use both the solutions. So, and what is the concept of VM scale sets? What is the concept of the VM scale sets?
So we can increase the number of VMs in horizontal scaling, and we can increase the resources accordingly in the vertical scaling.
We are going to increase uh, depends upon the load automatically right size of the VMs we are maintaining, and if we don't have the business, even we are scaling down also those VMs. Okay, so automatically we can scale up or scale down the VMs and we are maintaining the right size of the VMs. The right sizing of the VMs will give a lot of business success. If you maintain always very high-end number of servers, then most of the profit of our application goes to that server maintenance itself. And even in we have like a more user requests coming also, we're not able to bear more load. But if I have the auto scaling, at that moment itself, I'm going to scale up. And when I don't have the load, I'm going to scale down. So that is the advantage we are going to use VM scale sets. So now, like in the today, we'll go for VM scale sets creation. Then, like in the next sessions, we'll attach to load balancers also. So for this, what we required is we required an application also we need to set up. So now here I'm going to use VM scale sets. I'm all these days I have created the VMs and the VM scale sets. And whenever we are going to design the like networking all these, it's recommended to choose those VM scale sets spread across multiple available zones. If I keep all these VM scale sets VMs in the single zone, what is the problem is if that is down, it's a single point of crash.
Okay.
Uh, say what is the problem is if that zone is down, the complete VMs are down. That's the reason when you are designing the VM scale set, make sure the VM should be spread across 2 or 3 zones. Then even if one zone goes down, the solution is highly available from another zone. So like this, we need to plan the yeah the we need to plan for the VM scale sets. We need to plan. Okay, I hope you got it right. And networking wise also we need to have, say, in the VNet or subnet, we need to have minimum that IPs should be there, because maybe if I use I'll tell one example in the VNet. We'll discuss more on this. Say if I choose 10.0.0.0/24, the maximum number of IPs we are getting is 256. But in that also 5 IPs is used by Azure. Then total we are getting 251. But what is the VM scale set I have chosen is 500 VMs I have created, assume, in my scale set. Then what is the problem I'm getting? Because only for 251 IPs only, or 251 VMs only I can give.
For a single network.
No, we don't get the IPs. Only for
Yes,
251 250 VMs only will get the IPs. Okay, remaining 249 VMs
get the IP.
we don't get the IP. Okay, so then that is one of the problem we have. Okay, so that's the reason better to make sure here /20. If I use /20, what is the advantages? I'm going to get around 4096 IPs. Even if I use 5 IPs also, I'm getting 4091. Okay, so these all in the VNet will design. That means we need to have the enough IPs also, and storage, networking, monitoring, all these also we need to design while creating the VM scale sets. And say here yesterday which image we have used is, say, maybe Windows Server we have used 2019, we have used or Ubuntu 24.04 we have used. If I use this kind of pre-built images, what is the problem is, if I scale up my VM through VM scale set, my VM is getting increased. My VM size is, sorry, the VM's count is increasing. But what about application? In that, I want my application also need to reside. So yesterday we have installed one website on Nginx or IIS. With that application also we want. Then what is the solution is, first create a create an image. Okay, so first create an image. Okay, with the application, and while using VM scale set, use that image. So what is the problem if I use Microsoft is providing us, or Azure is providing us Ubuntu or Windows Server default images they are providing. But what is the problem with that? In that we don't have the application. That is the reason first what we are doing is, we are taking a VM, and in that I'm setting up all my applications. I'll convert that into image, and in the VM scale set, I will use that image. With this, what is the advantage? In that image already we have the applications, and when that scale up, automatically we are getting the application also we are getting. The application also we are getting by default. Any doubts on this?
So you mentioned the image. Since these are all pre
Yes,
ready the image, can we optimize these image before we
Yes, yes,
installed to the.
yes, yes. Depends upon our company standards and policies. Okay, so what a Microsoft is providing is not enough to maintain our company compliances and policies. Definitely, you can increase.
Okay.
Okay, so now here I'll go to my VMs. So yesterday I think we have installed this Linux web server, right? In that we have the that
Yes.
Nginx, all those also we have. Now what I'm going to do is uh, already we have the VM. Sorry, we have already the image is there. Already we have the image. From image, what we done is we created the VM and we set up some application. All these we have set up. Now from that VM, I'm creating an image again. Okay. So this image I'll use in my VM scale sets because when I scale up, what is my expectation is my application also need to come in that. Okay. So if I don't want this kind of solution, then at the time of VM scale set, I may need to use the user data or custom data. What this is going to do? At the time of VM is a new VM is getting provisioned by uh, like uh, when I'm going to provision by that the VM, the user data or custom data, what it will do is it will run the launch scripts and it will perform that automation. But instead of each and every time doing that user data or custom data, the custom data, what is the best practice is create an image with already having that application. Okay, so then already we have that VM. Yesterday, if you understood this, we have this VM. What I can do is this VM, I'm converting again back to image. I'm converting back to the image. So for this, what I'm doing is here I'm going to use capture, and in the capture, I'm choosing the image. So now you go to that virtual machine, and which virtual machine you want to convert into image, select that. Then here, sorry, go to that VM. So here we have the option called capture. Okay. So then in the capture, you convert into this image. Okay. So then I'm going to give the image name all this. Okay. So resource group is CloudSoft. Set image to the gallery. Then as of now, no galleries, but choose this. Here we'll give the version number. So tomorrow, I got an application newer version, then you can increase to version 2 also. Then your VM sketch also will promote to that new version. Okay, so then here it is taking major, minor, or like this. Here it is taking three things. Okay, so then when that image end of life, say suppose maybe this I want to use till April 20, like this you can give the end of life also. After that maybe you get a new version of the image. Okay, so with that we can increase. Okay. So now here this option also is important because we can automatically delete this VM after creating this image. Now I want to keep for the multiple versions, then don't check this option. Okay, so then, but here managed image is not available because,
Currently stop
no, we
supported.
use the, yesterday we used the trusted image we have used.
What is the trusted, sir?
That is, Azure is giving to use the trusted images.
Okay, okay,
They are while giving those they are giving those trusted images.
okay.
Okay.
So with the
Yeah, I'll
trusted
try to.
images won't support that. We can't create images with the trusted
No, we
resource.
can create, but managed image is not supported. So I used my own gallery. I have used it.
The value must not be empty. I'll go to image definition. Definition. Mm,
It's yesterday. It's a Linux, right? That is the reason I chosen the same thing. Image definition I have given. Okay, so I given the one gallery name, one image name, all these. Okay, so then when I'm creating the VM also, I can use this image itself instead of Ubuntu, but this would be more useful for me when we are going to use the VM scale sets. When we are going to use for the VM scale sets, this would be more useful. Then I'll check that, so because it's not created yet. So once this has been created,
Stopping the virtual machine.
yeah, it will stop. It's just like in the VM, in the VMware, it's a template kind of thing.
Yeah, we are taking the snapshot at the
Not
time. So
not snapshot. It's a template.
yeah, yeah. Sorry, template.
Yeah, it's equal, almost equal to template kind of concept.
Okay, VM template.
Yeah, virtual machine template. Here we are calling as an image. Image is having a pre-configured OS and pre-configured applications have been inbuilt. But instead of using that inbuilt template, we don't have the application. With our application, we are creating our own custom image we are creating. And with that, if I auto scale, then when that mission automatically scale up, we are getting with the application also. So otherwise, if I scale up that like 10 VMs into 40 VMs, at that moment I need to manually install the applications in that 40 VMs. But in if it is, I stored that in my image itself, and when those 40 missions have been scaled up, automatically I'm getting all those application is also is getting scale up in all those 40 VMs. So by taking a Ubuntu clean image also you can do it. But what is the problem is after scale up we don't get
Application we need to
your
install
application.
manually.
Yes, manually we need to install. Or I said one more solution is, so you can use user data or custom data is the other solution we have.
So,
So once this VM is created, like we'll go again back to VM scale sets. So I'm going to create a VM scale set. So we need to choose the free tail and resource group. So I'm choosing that CloudSoft resource group. Okay, then VM scale set name. So I'm going to give, so I think yesterday we deployed that sparing app. That's the reason I given sparing VM scale set. And available zones also is always recommended minimum 2 zones. Okay, don't choose only one zone. Better to spread them across multiple available zones. Okay, then in the orchestration mode, we have the flexible or we have uniform kind of like a similar kind of VMs or flexible kind of. Okay, so then always trusted launch itself. Then manually adjust the capacity or auto scaling. Okay, so then no scaling kind of profile. Okay, so then here subscription need Microsoft Insights registration to use auto scaling. In your account, you try to finish this, Naresh.
Yes, sir.
Later, you try to subscribe to Microsoft Insights also.
Okay, registration. Okay.
This registration may be required based on the conditions. Then we'll go for auto scaling based on the CPU metrics, those also. Okay, so but as of now, we are just increase instance count we are going to keep. Okay, then what is the size we have? Okay, so in some zones that size is not supported, then which size is supported that we are going to use. Okay, so in zone 1 that size is not supporting. So with the free tier only we'll get these challenges. Okay, so in the production they'll provide the resolve for those customers. But we are using free tier, right? That is the
Yes.
reason they're not giving.
So, sir, you don't have any pay as you go account.
As you go, that unnecessary bill will come more.
Yeah, yeah, correct only.
Yeah. So for a AVD for that we'll try to use. Unnecessarily a lot of billing will come.
Okay. I have a client account, sir, but it is
No,
a
no, we
production
shouldn't. That's
environment.
very risky to use that.
Yeah, it is a production
No,
environment.
no, we shouldn't use that. Say here, if you're getting this problem, just try to change the region
Zone.
also.
Yeah.
Region also. Okay. So now that is solved because that's in some regions, if they have the more demand, they're not providing for free tier. Okay.
Okay.
So now here we shouldn't choose. We shouldn't choose this Windows Server or Ubuntu. Go to all images. Say now here maybe in the shared images or my images. Okay, you can see that image we can see. The
Okay.
my Nginx image. So from this image, I'm going to choose here. Okay, so my image, I'm going to choose. Okay, so here this size is not available at this moment. And one more thing is at four VMs only we are going to keep that. And this is like you can request to normally Azure in the production. What you can do is you can request the quota also. So that means as of now they're not providing the quota for us, right? You can request for the quota. If it is a pay as you go service, immediately they'll give the quota also for us. Okay, then you can use that one. Okay, so for this now we need to check. Maybe I'll restrict that. As of now, I'm keeping removing the zones because in sometimes what is going to happen is uh, in that one zone also that maybe that hardware may be not available. But what Azure is recommending, improve definitely your availability by selecting multiple
Zones.
zones itself. But here, what is the problem here is we created our image, right? In maybe US, we have created. Okay, so when I choose that image, I want to replicate this to,
East US.
yeah. So we can that image can be replicated also. Okay, then like to which region you want to create because the scope of the like most of the VMs, disk or images, all those are only at the region level itself. Okay, so most of them are at the region level itself. Okay, if we want to use that into other region, definitely we need to do the replication, these things. Okay, so now here I'll try with that is in the East US itself. But with the East US, that sizes are not available to create those. So now here what is the problem is, we chosen these two virtual CPUs are required because we have configured two right here. Uh, this you can, how we can solve this one is, we have two VMs are running, right? The two VMs you can delete it.
Existing VMs, huh?
Existing VMs you can delete. So as of now I have given only one, right? Now that problem has been solved.
Okay.
Okay, then in the virtual machine scale sets, you are going to create 400 VMs. We already discussed spot kind of capacity. What is this is, unused resources can be given as the spot VMs. Okay, but the termination is not in our control. But with auto scaling, even if those VMs terminated also, new VMs would be created by the VM scale sets. Then some of the workloads, some companies are choosing to use the VM scale sets also. Means I have 400 VMs. I can use 30% of my workloads, maybe spot instances. What is the advantage with the spot instances? The overall pricing is going to be reduced. Okay, so now here if I enable spot instances, what is the advantage is? What is the advantage? If I use the spot instances, my overall price is going to reduce. And if the spot instance got deleted also, VM scale set what it will do?
We'll create again.
But all the complete workload don't keep spot. We can use some of the VMs also. Okay, but I'm not deploying with spot. So now here, this is the best method in the real time. Maybe 50-50 kind of model or 30% spot instances, 50% on demand. Like this, you can choose. Okay. Then for the VM scale sets for all these missions, we require the disk also. That means you are going to create a 30, 40, those all required disk, networking, management. These all in the like at the VM level also we have created the networking, we created the like a monitoring kind of thing and how to upgrade. These all we discuss. Then health is very very important. What VM scale set is doing is additional to the auto scaling. It would be checking the health of the VMs, and if the any of the health of the VM is down, automatically that would be removed from the VM scale set, and depends upon the scaling conditions, it's going to scale up that number of, say, suppose if I enable at the load balancer level also will enable the health monitoring, but at the VM scale set, what is the advantage is VM scale set is continuously monitoring the application health, and in any of the VM, if that application is not listening or that port is not listening, application is not listening, then what it is going to do is it is going to delete that VM from the VM scale set and a new VM is getting created. Okay, so these kind of self-healing features also have been provided by the VM
So,
scale set.
so that is done by automatically by Azure from the backend.
Yes, from the scale set itself is going to taken care automatically.
So we no need to do anything.
You no need to do anything because even if you go also, that would be removed itself by you. Okay, so that's VM scale set itself will do because we have dynamically, we have some hundreds of VMs maybe there. You no need to monitor each and everything on behalf of us, our load balancer and VM scale set itself, we will set up this.
Okay, sir, got it.
Okay, so now try to create this VM scale set. Say today focus more on the like these steps, how to, what are the options are available, just go through and create an image also and try to create VM scale sets. Even if that doesn't create also, just explore all the options are available. Said like what is our expectation is we need to create a load balancer with a VM scale set, and the back end of the application we don't have any database. Going forward, we need to set up maybe MySQL or SQL server, or maybe the database also we need to set up. Okay, at the database level, we need to configure the security, networking, then high availability. For application level, we need to set up. For web server level, then like that load balancing, region level, how we can replicate these all. Then finally, how we can use DNS to expose this application maybe with your domain name. Okay, so these all. So if I have yesterday we deployed only a VM, right? That's not an enterprise scenario. So if that VM is down, it's a single point of crash. Okay. So we need to design all these for our enterprise applications. Okay. So in order to set up this, like again after like load balancer, DNS, we'll take one application and we'll deploy all these with the best practices. Will configure the networking, NSGs, and VM scale sets, attaching them, listeners, then application monitoring. All this will set up at the production level. Okay. And these all the automation also going forward, you no need to create all these resources manually. We'll use maybe Terraform or ARM templates or Bicep kind of resources we are going to use in the real time. Okay. So try to create different VM scale sets, and try to understand the image, and that images also we can replicate to other regions also. Spend some time in that. And auto scaling, vertical scaling, horizontal scaling, and the left side of the VM we have a lot of options are available. Explore all those options once. Okay.
Just got one question.
Yeah.
So, how do you get an image from a CCM or Intune to Azure VMs? Like in
Uh,
the real world, like we use like our uni email, like SCCM or Intune.
I didn't get you.
So can we get like a uni image, like from SCCM or Intune, or you have to prepare the image
No, no, we
on
need to, we can
what you-
create, we have the image builder kind of tools. From that we can create, or we can use maybe server migration. Say we have already VM existing on your Hyper-V, or maybe on your, that you can
Yeah.
convert to Azure.
Okay.
We,
So
we,
you
we
can
can
just
do
like
at the
transfer
VM level,
your
we can migrate
yeah,
that.
like we use VMware, yeah,
Server
vSphere and
migration service we
transfer.
can use.
Okay. Which migrations service
Azure
you
will
use?
provide Azure migrate service.
Okay.
So from that we can migrate that.
Okay. Thanks.
And even from scratch also we can create, say suppose we already took the Ubuntu image, in that I set up the applications, right? Instead of doing that from scratch also we can develop, but that's not a best practice.
Yeah, like so do they have any like agent like how Citrix do like VDAs or so do Azure have their own
Yes, yes, Azure
agent?
will have their VM agent, all those, but those are internal, we provided in those images.
Okay.
So for monitoring, for that, all that they have, their agents are running.
Okay. So when you create from there, they already
Yes, yes,
running it.
you no need to set up those explicitly like Citrix we are doing.
Okay. Cool.
Okay?
Thanks.
Sure. So tomorrow we'll discuss load balancing concepts also. Then we'll attach all these. Okay?
Yeah.
Sure.
See you
Thanks.
tomorrow.
Thanks. Yeah.
Thanks.